Welcome back to Granbury TV. I'm Drew Whitaker, here sitting with the sheriff for our weekly sheriff's report. How are you, sir?
Doing good. How are you?
Fantastic. How's your week been?
It's been a busy week. A lot of things going on.
I believe that.
Got a few news stories in the Crime Stoppers. The new Emergency Operations Center is coming right along, and it's possible we might even be moved in there within the next week or two.
Wow.
So,
I was just about to say, how's that going?
Well, they're shooting for early next week to get the paving done. Mm-hmm. Once the paving's done, I think everything else will be coming right together, so we might be able to start moving in the offices right after that.
That's fantastic.
Now later this month, though, next week actually, then we're going to have a FEMA graded drill, and it's going to be at the old EOC, because we didn't think there would be any way possible that we'd get everything ready to go this soon. And that's true, because we'll have a lot of things operational at the new EOC, but then the tables had to be special ordered, and they won't be in for about another month. So we're hoping that comes in sooner, but we'll probably, after this drill next week, we'll probably set up maybe some temporary tables and chairs over there in the new Emergency Operations Center in case something comes up. But for next week, we're going to be doing the drill in the old Emergency Operations Center, and FEMA's going to be here, the state's going to be here, and they were on their furlough when we did the drill the last time, but they're saying it didn't count because they weren't here.
Huh.
So we got to do it all over again. I think this last year we had drills, we had the real thing. I think we're good at what we do, but they weren't here to see it, so we got to count. So it doesn't count, so we got to do it again. So, you know, they even got to see us I had some of the FEMA people comment that they saw us on TV, on the national news and all that when we had the tornado and everything, but that doesn't count.
But it doesn't count.
Because they weren't here.
They weren't here. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Mind-blowing. Government.
Well, and Comanche Peak wasn't involved, and Somerville County wasn't involved, and so that's why we got to do it over again.
Well, good luck, and I'm sure you'll do just as well as you did the last time, even though that they didn't see it, but I'm sure
well,
just as good.
We have had plenty of practice, so I know we'll do good, and then after this is all over next week, then hopefully we can start moving into the new building, and it'll get better than ever.
I was just about to say, I'm sure your efficiency will be a lot better in the new building compared to the old building.
Well, Jackie with the IT department, the IT director, they're planning all kinds of high-tech stuff, so I haven't been over there since they put up some of the smart boards, but I was in a meeting with them about that here a while back, and it's some all new high-tech stuff and a bigger and better room, the conference rooms, radio room, so it's going to be such a big step up from what we're used to.
Well, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. What do you have for this week's bust?
Well, what I brought today was we had 2 male juveniles that were arrested for a burglary. And on the 20th, around 6:30 p.m., Hood County Sheriff's deputies and Granbury police officers responded to a suspicious person call in the 600 block of Donna Circle in reference to juveniles carrying a gun. Upon officers' arrival, it was discovered that a 9mm pistol that the juveniles had was stolen from the 500 block of Penny Court. That's out in the county. This suspicious person call was in the city, so teamwork. And during that burglary that was filed an hour earlier, when they actually came forward to file the case once they got home and realized they had a problem. So officers learned that the 2 15-year-old males had burglarized the home and removed a 12-gauge shotgun, a .22 caliber rifle, and a 9mm pistol. All property was recovered during the investigation and will be returned to the victim, so that was a great thing. The 2 suspects were arrested and charged with burglary of habitation, felony 2. The suspects were placed in the Hood County Juvenile Detention Center and will be seeing the judge within the next 10 days. And this case is still under investigation, but this was a bunch of teamwork that went into this with our computer-aided dispatch system. The city sees what we're doing, we see what the city's doing. Everybody works together on these cases. So if somebody is closer to the call in the city and it's one of my guys, they'll respond and help them out if it's an emergency call. So in this case, it wasn't that it was an emergency case because it's a burglary that happened prior to this. The suspicious person call was handled by the city. Well, then when my guys got there and heard about this burglary and what was taken, then they contacted the city officers that were still dealing with these suspicious people and said, you know, what kind of pistol did they have?
They caught on.
Same thing that was just stolen. So anyway, they started comparing notes, put it all together. I know my patrol deputy that took the initial call, he was tied up, supposed to get off at 6 o'clock at night, ended up, I think he got off about 11 that night. But when it's a fast-paced thing when you're on the trail and getting it done, you got to get her done and get her done now. So it all came together, and these two guys were caught, and the person got all his property recovered. So, and it's never good when you get weapons out on the street.
Exactly. I was going to say, 15-year-olds with weapons just doesn't seem like a good combination.
No, and that was part of how the suspicious person call came in, that this kid was showing it off and bragging about it, and so he was drawing attention to himself. So
Nope.
Part
I'm
of
glad
his.
someone called it in, though. You know, I'm just glad someone called it in.
Yep. So that's a case that was brought to us and solved all within a few hours.
Yeah, which is good.
Yep. Good thing. Then we had a suspect that was filed on for family violence on the 23rd round. Richard Lee Simmons, 53 years old, who is currently in jail for violation of protective order and criminal mischief. He was filed on for assault family violence with previous convictions, and now it's at felony 3. And I got out of the office without checking on what his bond was today. But anyway, it'll probably be where he's going to stay sitting in jail. And the charge stemmed from a disturbance on October 29th where Simmons assaulted his girlfriend, a 52-year-old female, by slapping and pulling her hair. And it was at the 2900 block of Wagon Trail down in Brazos River Acres. It was later determined that Simmons had a previous conviction for family violence assault. Simmons is currently in jail at this present time. So this guy has caused a lot of grief to a lot of people. Been to the penitentiary, and most likely he'll be going back again. So,
You know, that just every time you bring in a case, it's always a family violence, someone picking on a girlfriend. It's just like, I just don't understand that. You know, I don't understand how you get so mad you just start beating up on your girlfriend. I don't know. It just,
well,
I guess it's something I'll never understand.
And on this particular case, I'm not 100% sure, but a lot of them that we deal with, it's drugs and alcohol always plays a part in it. It's very seldom that people just decide,
I'm just going to beat up on this person.
yeah, there's always underlying circumstances with that kind of push it over the edge, and a lot of it's alcohol, some of it's drugs. So that's why we're always fighting that war on drugs, and it's got me kind of bothered with in the news here lately that we've had Colorado and Washington, I guess, that are
that legalized pot.
Yeah, legalizing marijuana, and then the governor was saying something about that, I guess, yesterday, that I don't think he'll give in, and I don't think the legislation in Texas will give in for many years to that. There's just too many things that it's proven that, just like cigarettes, it causes problems, health problems. Well, you're breathing that smoke in. With marijuana, it does things to you. You know, it's not.
It's like every drug.
Yeah, it's not good for your health, and they've proven that it helps with cancer patients, helps them get hungry and eat better because they start losing weight. So there's some special things where a doctor can prescribe.
But not the whole public needs it.
No,
You know?
no, and you know, there might be a reason to have it in those cases, but just for recreational use, you know, I've seen it many times that if they're under if they're under the influence of alcohol or drugs, they're not thinking in their right mind, and there's
course not.
problems.
Of course not.
And then we got domestic violence
Yeah.
or,
Just add more.
Just
to the
lots of
pot.
problems.
Exactly. Just add more to the pot.
yeah, and it always seems like one thing leads to another. So
Yes, sir.
I'm the sheriff. I'm not a state representative or a state senator, so I'm not going to really have any input into whether they pass it someday or not. Maybe I guess they ask me questions, what we have going on out there, and I've been contacted by the different people running for different jobs now at the state level, and so they do ask my opinion a lot of times, but it's tough enough to enforce the law out there, and I think we're asking for more troubles if we do that. But if the state passes, I guess whatever the law says, that's my job is hard, but in some ways it's easy. It's in black and white. You either cross that line or you didn't cross that line. So
Right.
I guess until it's legalized, we're going to keep on enforcing it. So
That's all you can do.
yep.
That's all you can do. What do we have for the weekly Crime Stoppers?
Crime Stoppers, we need your information on a burglary of a motor vehicle. The burglary occurred in the 1900 block of Campbell Road sometime during the nighttime hours of January 7th, 2014. Suspects entered the property and broke into a horse trailer and damaged another vehicle. Horse equipment was stolen out of the trailer and a STI Executive .40 caliber. Ooh, those are some expensive ones. Stainless steel pistol. And the total value of the stolen items is $8,457.70. I guess I read that about the pistol and I just realized that STI, that's a fairly expensive pistol. So $8,457.70 worth of stuff that was stolen. So we need your information on this. Campbell Road's out on the other side of Toller. So
Quite a pretty penny there.
yep, so anyone with information on a burglary of a motor vehicle is asked to contact Crime Stoppers at 817-573-TIPS, or you may go online at the Hood County Crime Stoppers website, hoodcountycrimestoppers.com, and submit a tip online to text tip 129 plus your message to 274637. All tips remain anonymous. Upon arrest and indictment, you could receive up to a $1,000 cash reward. And then last week's tip with out at the reunion grounds from the stock show, we're still looking into that one.
Still looking into that. Well, hopefully they can find whoever released all the animals just to cause mischief.
Yep, we don't need those kind of problems, and we're gonna be doing like they're doing at the Sochi Olympics. We're gonna have more security up there next year.
Yep. Well, thank you so much, Sheriff, for coming in and letting the public know what's going on in the community. We definitely appreciate it. And I guess we'll see you next week.
Yep, we'll be here. Thank you for having me.
Very much.